at the door half an hour ago. I just received 3 huge bags from Net-a-Porter.com. Unpack and try on everything together with you. I'll spill a little bit. I am filming a TV show. Guys, I'm gonna say something very controversial. Are you ready? We have some Kate, some The Rose, ooh, some Victoria Beckham. Oh, a lot of Laura Piana. I do not like Kelly Colormatic at all. The French President Emmanuel Macron is at the same hotel right now as I am. The filming crew cannot come. If you could choose one Hermes bag out of your entire collection, which one would it be? How can I answer that question? Hello my lovelies and welcome to another video. Wow, we are back at work. Can I just say one thing that's on my mind currently? As I was setting up to record, I was thinking, isn't it crazy that Philippe and I are both very, very, very independent people? We literally can, sometimes unfortunately due to work or whatever the situation is, sometimes we don't see each other for as much as a week. It's not that often, to be honest. It's usually like 2 days or so, like he's somewhere for work or I'm somewhere for work, but it can happen that it's a week, right? And we're both very independent. We speak to each other probably like 5 to 10 times a day, but we're fine. We both get on with our lives. And now that we spent 1 month together, like every single day, non-stop, without a break, I find it so hard because today is his first day back at the office and I'm like, don't go, please. I genuinely think that people, us, unless some of you are aliens or watching this, I think that we are such habitual creatures. Honestly, like we are creatures of habit. And whether you are struggling because you're away from someone right now, that will pass. Isn't that kind of crazy? Obviously, I'm not talking about like grief or like breakups or anything like that. That's like another deeper topic completely. But I'm talking about like separation. And it's just crazy how we tend to get used to everything. And then equally so, I've spoken to some friends that went through these kind of situations during pandemic, but in the opposite way. When they were away from their partner, then once they would be together, they found it difficult to get used to their partner now that the partner was back. I thought that was just crazy because our brains and feelings and emotions and hormones and everything is just magic. Anyway, I'm so happy to be home. I'm sorry. You're going to be hearing that until I'm gone again. Because genuinely, truthfully, I love being at home. In all honesty, what I love about being at home is that it's so comfortable. Everything that I want, like for example, when I'm traveling, right? I want to wear something, but I haven't packed it. But then obviously, it's just like also if I want to make myself a cup of tea or my favorite coffee or a matcha, it's just like 1 minute away, you know, and I can do it myself. So that's really nice as well. Besides the fact that it's comfortable and familiar and that I best sleep in my own bed. But let's not talk about that too much because we all know that, well, you and I, we both know that in a second I will be heading to fashion tour, you know? It's all waiting, it's all around the corner. And actually my favorite season of the whole entire year is around the corner. Yep, autumn is my favorite season. And you know why? Because I love dressing in layers. I love color burgundy, I love brown, I love gray. I mean, I love the neutrals as well, which I think are perfect for autumn as well. I think like the only point when it gets like really, really, okay, I don't like it, when it's like so cold that your hands are freezing. That I do not like, okay? So it's not like I love winter, I love autumn. It's just a pity that in Europe, autumn is like 3 days long basically. But nevertheless, I'm excited for the autumn fashion and I have at the door half an hour ago, we just received, well, I just received, to be more precise, 3 huge bags from Net-a-Porter.com, which has been my ongoing partner for years now. I love shopping on Net-a-Porter. They have incredible selection. I found so many cute pieces on Net-a-Porter, you guys, like for summer, for winter, for everything. I ordered it in Ravello, which is amazing because Net-a-Porter does deliver pretty much anywhere in the world. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bags of Net-a-Porter deliveries. And there are some pieces that I just could not wait for. So I literally, like last night, I was like placing the order and it arrived today and I'm so happy because I haven't even had a peek. So this will be the time that I actually unpack and try on everything together with you, which actually makes me super happy because from the top of my head, what I think we have some Kate, some The Rose. Ooh. some Victoria Beckham. Oh, a lot of Loro Piana. I just think it's going to be one of those seasons that I want to wear good materials, neutral colors. We'll see. I have no even idea what I ordered. By the way, my makeup, you might notice, a little bit different. I have nothing on my lashes or my eyes, just like the tiniest little, that's not even a wing, you know, that's it. A bit of lipstick, and I love not wearing a lot of makeup, especially when I'm this tanned. That's like my prime. And usually my tan lasts so long because I make sure to moisturize religiously. I moisturize like 4 times a day, okay? That is the drill. Now let's go and have a peek in those bags because I cannot wait. So you guys know me, usually I like to show you these things now on, whereas like shoes and some like smaller things I like to show you separately, and then these bits I like to show you separately as well. So I think I'm gonna do it like that this time as well, with a small little change. I might actually do it all in my wardrobe, let's see. And we're back. anyway, just yeah. What I wanted to say is that, so I still have up here, you see, a shoe gap. So we're gonna start with what I'm trying to fill the gap with. Actually, I just got in my last video, you saw a pair of off-white shoes that I really like, but the ones that I'm really looking forward to are here. Normally I'm a size 40. I got 2 of these shoes. They were actually recommended to me by my friend Nada. She said you have to get these shoes, they're the best. So one of them they didn't have in size 40, so I got size 39 because I'm 39-40. So I'm really hoping it's gonna work. Okay, they're so beautiful. So we have like a pair of these mules. I'm very much into mules. I love mules, but look how gorgeous are these. And also they have this curved heel. It says the color is dark red. It's like a brownish red. Let's try on my bigger foot. As in Italy, they would say giuste, just about right, the size. I just want to get up immediately to see them because I was really looking forward to these shoes. Wow. Wow, they're so beautiful. I am obsessed. These shoes are so good. I mean, wow. They would go really well with these trousers too. They are incredible. These shoes can go straight on the shelf immediately. And you know what? I actually don't really have many shoes in color brown. I have 4 pairs altogether, which I will show you in a second. I think this is much needed. It's also not even that brown. It's almost like, let me show you. So something most similar to this would be these in kind of like, you see like brownish, but you see that the Victoria Beckham are a little bit more red. Then we have these, right? Actually, I believe all of these shoes you can get on Net-a-Porter. At the moment, if I can find them all, I will link them below. I know that they have a big range of Saint Laurent shoes at the moment as well available, like some really cool models as well. But I'm trying to find something new, something different, something that you guys perhaps haven't seen all over internet already. So let's see what else I got in bag for you. I got the same shoes in size black. I got the black because I was worried that the brownie burgundy is not gonna work. This is annoying me, by the way. So I'm gonna move it. Sorry. I basically was worried that in case the 39 doesn't work, I wanted to get 40 immediately because I knew that these shoes will be getting sold out very fast. Oh my God, these are also so beautiful. So the black are like mock croc. I don't know if you can see, they're croc embossed. Black, also so beautiful. Technically, I don't have a black mule, but I have so many black shoes. I only have like these black mules, but this is like such a different type of shoe. You know what I mean? What do we think? So beautiful. Oh, I feel like, I'm sorry, I feel like I need this shoe. I think I'm gonna have to keep them both. This is a little bit problematic. because I really love them. 40 will definitely be more comfortable, but I think 39 I will definitely stretch because I like the mule to be a little bit not at the edge of the foot in the back, but that's okay. We're down to the last pair of shoes that I got. That are also a pair of heels, but I definitely am not going to be buying any more like flat like sandals and shoes and things like that. Hopefully not even any more ballerinas because I have lots. But these I already saw when I was in Alaya in Paris back, do you remember, back in July, I believe, end of July, and I saw a lady trying on these shoes and I thought like, wow, they are special. So this is the heel, right? And they only have 3 tiny kind of like shoelaces sort of like in the front. I personally love them, but will I have many wears out of them? Yes, Fashion Week is coming and I always think like having like cool pairs like these is good. Like, you know, pack them in your suitcase and then you don't have to worry about anything. But what do we think? Do I need them? Especially because I recently got another pair of black Alaya shoes, so probably not. Okay, with this, sorry you guys can't see much. I think you can play with this as you wish. So it looks like it's all ties. I don't know how flattering that is, especially after these Victoria Beckham heels that I was like, but to be honest, it is cool. And the heel is very comfortable. Can I just say, this heel is extremely comfortable. And I think it's because it's very sturdy and thick. I think very, very special. And you can kind of adjust where you want these laces to be, which is special. This one, I need to really understand what to do because they are very special. But anyway, whew, I feel like this video, I wasn't gonna have this long because I already have it too long for just the accessories. We're gonna get straight onto the try-on part. Are you ready? I got few basics, okay, like few t-shirts. And now if we're gonna talk about the trends for autumn, you're gonna find them out here. So one of the biggest trends for coming autumn is like deep browns, reddy browns, burgundy maroon colors. And you guys know I'm here for that, right? I realized I have a lot of good white t-shirts. I love the staples, but I don't have like any, actually black. Maybe I have one, you know what I mean, or gray or something like that. And these are such good basics. This is a beautiful one. I remember it was a very good color, beautiful cotton. I think I'm gonna get quite a few of these. Maybe I did already. I can't really quite recall now. I'll link this, obviously, just like everything else that I'm showing you. I will link it in the description box below. I got few t-shirts. Now, I don't know in which order I'm gonna be unboxing this. Ooh, so if you've been following me since last year, last autumn, I said that I'm searching high and low for a burgundy cashmere knit. Like a thin one, a nice one that I can put on the plane. This is probably the softest cashmere that I've ever touched in my life. This is 1000% staying with me. It is a Loro Piana beautiful, beautiful cashmere knit. And oh, it's so good. Guys, I do have a lot of pieces from Loro Piana in this haul because I just love that brand. I'm here for it. I think I'm gonna wear this in the evening when it gets a bit chillier because I really love it. I'm so here for it. Anyway, we're gonna go through this all in a sec. I don't know, I know I said that I will show you the looks, and I will show you the looks for most of the things. I just wanted to show you a few little things. So yeah, I got a gray t-shirt. This one's a little bit oversized, but this is quite nice also for like traveling, like maybe when I'm going to New York Fashion Week or something like that, you know, with jeans. I got a size extra small actually. So, you know, a good cotton t-shirt. This I'm gonna show you on. So if you think I have an obsession or a problem with a color, this is the color I have a problem with, okay, because I am truly obsessed. I think overall I have like 20 pieces in this haul. So I'm gonna start getting dressed and show you everything that I have so we can do it one by one. Let's do it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, look number one is the look I was the most looking forward to. You know that there's always one, right? So this is it. It's this beautiful sort of like oatmeal color. And can you imagine? I'm like shook. This has just arrived uncreased. Not like a single crease on this suit, which makes me already love it very much. I might even style it with like a different bag to this one, maybe like even something gray or black to get more the cooler tone out of it, because this makes it a little bit warmer. Imagine with something black it would look a little bit more cooler. I also love this material, their pockets. Obviously this whole set is from Loro Piana. I told you there'll be lots of pieces from Loro Piana. And one other big autumn trend for the season, in case you haven't noticed, is this color. Now this color, which is kind of like sharp cut, sort of like a Korean style color, is going to be a huge trend this autumn. And I think I have a few pieces with this color. I'll even come down so you guys can see it better. Look how chic and sharp. This is a piece I was the most excited for. Okay, next look is sort of like a denim suit, which denim, by the way, is a huge trend also for this autumn. So far, burgundy, denim, color of certain style. Like, I love this one because it's like a smart casual. So you have like a pair of denim. It's a set and you have a jacket. And I decided to style it with burgundy just to show you how this looks, right? So I styled it with these like also Gucci kitten heel, because like the length is just perfect. They're not too long. They're like perfect kind of jeans you can wear even with your sneakers. So this is what it looks like with burgundy, right? But then imagine with a navy bag instead. Like brings different colors in an outfit, right? It's just incredible how styling a color with color can bring either the cool or the warm tones out of that color, and I loved it. And one thing that you will notice are these beautiful buttons as well. What did I tell you about this color? This color is really going to be everywhere. Guys, something that I bought completely prematurely is this knit. But I love it so much. I'm 100% keeping it. So while I'm still in these Loro Piana jeans that I've shown you now, you can actually see them also without the little jacket blazer with leather trimming. I wanted you to see it also. Just look at this jumper. It has like a beautiful neck, which obviously you can kind of invert a little bit, but I like wearing it like this. So cozy. This color. And this is not the one that I showed you earlier. The one that I've shown you earlier, I'll show you in a second. But look at this. With a pair of jeans. So completely prematurely, this is like such a chunky knit that you don't need just yet, for sure. So this is kind of the way you want to maybe wear it. I'll show you the other one, which is much thinner and kind of more suitable for this time of the year. This is a case of tell me what's your favorite color without telling me what's your favorite color. This t-shirt is insane. It's perfection. I want to get this t-shirt from this brand in every color because it's a perfect fit. It's perfect size. I will let you know which size I got. Hold on. I got a size 1. So this is what a size 1 looks like on someone who is 174 centimeters tall, normally French 36, Italian 40, UK 8. And here is this Loro Piana gorgeous cashmere that I got in size 38, which is actually a smaller size, but I wanted it to be fitted because I already have the other chunky one. Delicious, love it. Love this one to be a little bit more like a piece that you tie around your shoulders, a piece that you put over a blazer, under a blazer, over a blazer, like as in tie around your shoulders or around your waist. I mean, these jeans are just so good. Also, I love the white stitching on these jeans when I come closer. Look at this. I feel a bit like crazy that I just have like literally 3 colors in this whole, like black, burgundy, and beige. I mean, denim doesn't count as a color, right? Or does it? I don't know. What do we think about these jeans? Do you guys love them as much as I do? Because I really love them. I love this outfit. I think I'm ready to go back to school. I think I said something like I will never need another knitwear again in my life. Talking about the 4th color, it is a little bit on the more neutral side, but it's like a light pink knit that I got that I think is so beautiful. It's more like melange. Look at it. Can you see the beauty of this? And I wanted to show it to you because the final piece of knitwear that I got, so I can finally take off these jeans, because I think everyone has seen them by now. But also I think like I love light pink, also styled with like brown or even with burgundy, because that's the kind of color block that I'm here for. I actually, with this knit, I actually feel like I'm going back to school. It's so cute. Imagine me going to St. Moritz this winter, or maybe even before the actual winter, just after Fashion Week, for like a nice relaxing long weekend. I want to go and I want to wear this knit. And I also think it goes really well with my skin color, because it's like light pink, brown and white. Look at this. Beautiful, right? Love it. Finally, we're back in a dress, and here I'm styling this one, which I should have really ironed, but I've packed away my steamer. I'm definitely keeping this dress. I love it. So it looks like it's a low waist. It's a dress. There's like a turtleneck situation on top, and then there's this beautiful, it's like, looks like a low waist type of situation skirt. Oh, I haven't closed it properly. Hold on. I need to like zip it tiny a little bit up here. What I really love about it is quite tight, so it looks like I don't know, like here is quite tight, but not too tight, so it's very comfortable. Styled it with the mules that you guys have seen already, the new Victoria Beckham that I feel like are gonna become my new best friends, because they're very comfortable. But the shape, I am obsessed with this shape. So here we go. This also can be styled with like ballerinas or with like kitten heels for a little bit more casual vibe. I need to iron it, but other than that, it's perfection. Now I wanted to show you something really chic. I think this is the only other black dress that I got. This is an outfit basically. So beautiful. Started with this black Bottega clutch. Same shoes that I've just shown you. It's off shoulder, it's jersey, long sleeve, very comfortable. I believe this dress also comes in white, but I already have something similar in white, so I decided to get the black option. And I love the boat neck. Beautiful, no? Very simple, so not much to really discuss. Just showing it to you. I wanted to show you this as a set, but hear me out. I don't think it really is working out together as a combo. I think these two pieces come from two different worlds. We have like these cashmere pants that are like proper pants, but they're made of like really beautiful kind of khaki cashmere. But then this is a little bit smarter, and what gives it away is the actually brown suede color. I don't even know if you can see it, but look at this. It's so like another world chic, right? But I think this is like, come fly with me to Tokyo. And this is more like chic, back to school vibes. However, I still wanted to show it to you. I need to like go through my wardrobe and try and style these both pieces separately, but I think like this, literally the bottom I will style with like a t-shirt or a knit and mules. What's inside of this pocket? I mean, the pockets are also epic. Look at this. Oh my god, Loro Piana is just incredible. That's that. I think still haven't finished. I still have, I believe, one more top to show you before we can proceed with this video. Okay, this is the final piece that I'm going to show you, and I am loving it. It's a top. Now I think I could have gone a size up, but I'm not sure. Maybe not. Maybe I couldn't close it myself. You see how much I'm missing? And the thing is, I need help because I have injured shoulder. So it looks like it could be my size actually, but also I haven't closed my pants because I was lazy. But I put the camera more up so you can see properly the top. I think it's beautiful. So it's a bit longer. You see it covers like this part here. It has this cut down the middle, and it's such a beautiful tube. Now what's so beautiful about this top, you can actually nicely, not like me, but tuck it in to something, you see, and have like a little corsety vibe. But I love it like this, even with white trousers, something like that. I think it's really beautiful. What do you guys think? what happened in the meanwhile. From the last time that you saw me, I had lunch with my mom, then we had a coffee, then I got back to the hotel. I did some like preparation for tomorrow. So tomorrow I have guests coming, more guests from abroad to Belgrade, which is really exciting. And whenever I have people coming from who have never visited Serbia before, I always want to make sure that they have the best time and that they experience Belgrade in the best possible time. So I'm doing some preparation, planning some things, brainstorming and things like that. Tomorrow I will also be visiting some places in Belgrade for the first time, because that's what happens when you get friends from abroad. And anybody who has friends from abroad or who has lived somewhere else and then visited their friends to their hometown or whatever, you end up like living and seeing your country through the eyes of visitors, which is quite interesting. So that's tomorrow. I actually realized I haven't shown you one thing, by the way. This is what I've been wearing for the past 3 days. I don't know if you can see it. Hold on, my phone's ringing. Guess who? Guess who? Hello, love of my life. So Filippo has called me to tell me that the Champions League draw was done. Red Star Belgrade is going to be playing Inter Milan and AC Milan, and he was saying it's going to be crazy. Milan is going to be full of Serbians, which actually I think is quite entertaining for Filippo especially. So what I wanted to show you, hold on. But I wanted to show you this necklace over here. As you can see, it's kind of like quite special, but it looks like a Scorpio tail, right? So it opens. It's Elsa Peretti Tiffany & Co necklace. It opens and it goes around the neck. Wait, I'll remove the mic so you can see it. And it looks like this, and I really love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's very special when you wear it. I don't know if you can see, but I think it looks really, really, really cool. It's something I've been wearing pretty much every single day in Belgrade currently. Also, I don't know if you guys have noticed that my hair is a little bit darker. Does it look darker? I wanted to do a little Q&A now to kind of complete this video. However, I think I'm gonna have to do that tomorrow. So I'm gonna get up anyway very early tomorrow. I have to do my makeup and get ready tomorrow. I will be filming something whole day long. I'll spill a little bit. I am filming a TV show. Okay, tomorrow we're filming a little bit more. And it's actually very, very exciting. It's a huge project, and working with like so many cameras, with so many professionals, with so many people, and like seeing what it's like behind. Actually, I understand that I've been doing the same thing all along, pretty much from our end. And it's quite interesting, the experience that I gained through this business and through the career that I have. It's so useful now for while I'm doing this other stuff. So really, really exciting. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to respond to some Q&A, because I just asked you guys to ask me some questions. So I have lots, but I'm gonna have even more by the morning. And then tomorrow morning when I'm all ready for filming and done, I will actually respond to your questions. So yeah, I'm gonna get ready, and tonight we're just going out for a nice little dinner. Ladies and gentlemen, it's morning, so that's way better for us to sit here and chat. I am currently fully ready, did my makeup, hair is like you've seen it, I got dressed, as today is the filming day. This is my outfit. I'm wearing the Gabriela Hearst dress. I love this dress so much, so yeah. And basically, when it comes to like filming days, I don't have like a minute free or off, to say so. So unfortunately, I had to get up earlier in order to film this video, so to have content for my channel, because this is how I kind of operate. On Wednesdays and Sundays, I'm publishing videos, which means that on Wednesday when the video is published, I have until Sunday to film, edit, upload everything, right? Not me, but like all of us. If I'm filming all those days, I don't have time to create my own content unless I'm waking before and after to shoot. But if I am even waking up before, I don't have the vlogging content. I just have like sit down content. So we have to get creative. Anyway, I wanted to actually answer some of the questions. So this morning with my first coffee, I went through the questions that you guys asked, and some of them are really actually interesting. A lot of them, if I haven't answered your question, it's probably because a lot of the questions were repeating. So there were so many questions like, what other jobs do you do? What did you do before? Or like, how did Filippo and I meet? And things like that, that we have already answered on this channel. And I wouldn't mind repeating myself. The thing is though, people who have already watched them, they don't want to watch the content that has already been done and said, if that makes any sense. So I'm not going to repeat those, but I'm going to try and answer to some that I've never actually answered before. Do you help organize Filippo's closet? Guys, I love the person that asked this question, that thinks that I'm the organized one in the relationship. The answer is of course not. Actually, it's quite the opposite. Filippo helps me organize my closet because Filippo's closet is perfectly organized at all times. He is a Virgo. He is such a clean, tidy man, very organized. Like, I will never have to worry about Filippo like leaving socks around. You know what I mean? He's that kind of man, and I'm so happy about that. How many people from your team travel with you for the Fashion Week content? So I would say minimum 3, like for Fashion Weeks. Last Milan Fashion Week, I had 4, but then I noticed that that was too much or too many people. Yes, I need help with creating content. I need help people coming along. But when you have too many people, so it's a very, very high intensity season, like work season, and you need to deliver and you need to be like really productive and you need to use the smallest amount of time and film, YouTube, create Instagram Reels, pictures, TikToks, picture for the blog, all of these things that you have to do, right? The thing is though, have too many people, that actually starts weighing you down because, like, for example, in between the shows, I need to be uploading stories, I need to be focused on what I'm doing. And if I'm like with 4 people and they're like talking between themselves, this is gonna sound so weird, but it's a fact. Just imagine, like, you know, if they're cooking or they wanna have fun, or if there's like 4 people, there's always one person that is kind of chilly, you know what I mean? Or like doing nothing. So I feel like at that point, it just becomes like, someone is coming for a ride almost, and I like to make it as sort of like efficient as possible for all of us. So I think like if I'm using someone's time and they're like generously providing their time, they should be feeling productive, learning something, helping out the team, not like being there for chit chats. Does that make sense? So I think personally, I don't know, like we would have to ask my team, but I think like I am pretty like strict on a few things during Fashion Week. I don't want to hear like gossiping in the car or chit chats or like commentary random that I'm not interested. It's just making sure that we're all learning, getting better, doing best, unless we're like sitting down, having lunch or having dinner at night or doing pizza, we're at home, we're chilling in pajamas, we finished all the work, then we can like be friends and enjoying and having fun. But if we're like running between like Max Mara and Prada, creating content, it's raining, we need to make it on time, like I don't want to hear any, like when you have 4 people, for sure one needs to go to the bathroom, one needs to eat, one needs to comment what they've seen, one you cannot find after the show, you know what I mean? So I think 3 is for me personally ideal, because that way everybody, or like 2 even is enough to come along in the van when we're between the shows, but in the city I need minimum 3. Hope that answers the question. But technically it's like a photographer, videographer, assistant, and someone from the glam team, let's say. I love this question. If you had all the money in the world, would you keep working? I actually had to think about this one, you know, because I was thinking like, that is a very good question. I personally think that even if I had all the money in the world, I would definitely have to work, because I do not like being lazy or staying put or lying in the bed. You know, like when we had the pandemic and there was just not much work around, it was the time that I was creating the most content. So I'll tell you, in 2020, all the budgets got frozen. Like influencers were not really getting paid for the work that we were creating. And that's the time when I created the most, because I really, really enjoy creating content. It's not like I get a project and I post. It's like I love doing this job. So 2020 is the time when I was creating like daily reels, daily vlogs, everything. So I think that is the answer. And I loved at that time, for obviously not for what was happening in the world, for what was happening to me, because I could just freely create. I also randomly realized that an elementary school friend George asked me, when are you coming to Novi Sad, which is my hometown? And it gave me such a throwback, and it made me like miss a little bit, like seeing people that I knew since I was like 7 or 8. You know, this is such a like beautiful thing actually, that there's so many people that I went to elementary school with, obviously, but who have been through so many same things in life. And that's one thing that I miss abroad. So when I'm in Italy or in England or in France, whatever, I can never actually meet people that have been through the same childhood as I have in the same country or in the same school. Even if I meet like people from Serbia, they would never have the same type of school and the same teacher and the same experiences. But there are some people, if I go back to Novi Sad, that will understand what I'm talking about, and that's really, really special. I realize I need to take you guys to my hometown at one point. For sure we will go. Dear T, does it make you excited or anxious or both expecting the new tasks at work after vacay? So it makes me anxious, excited, which is a really good question as well, because you said excited or anxious or both. So I am a little bit anxious knowing that in 2 days' time I will be on red carpet in Venice. That is scary, especially because I'm currently in Belgrade and like so far from that whole situation. But I'm also excited. I'm excited. Like, you know, when you're going to school and you know, like you're gonna probably dread it when you start, but at the moment you're still excited. It's that. Still have to do so many things, guys. Like I have to go to physio before I go to New York Fashion Week because that shoulder problem, neck problem that I've had. I have to obviously get like my nails done, money, pedi, everything. What do you give Filippo for his birthday? He has everything. Love you. I love you too. You know what? 100%. So guys, one thing you don't know about me is that giving gifts is my love language. I love to give gifts. And I come up with gifts like quite a while in advance. There are people that I'm very excited about, like their gifts, and I gave Filippo quite a few gifts already in the past. Like I love buying gifts for like my sister, my friends. I find it very exciting, you know? But when it comes to Filippo's birthday, I've already given him so many different things that it's hard to be innovative. However, I do have a few things in mind. It's his birthday in like 3 weeks exactly today, so I need to work on it. But I have planned few things, so it's not too difficult. If you could choose one Hermes bag out of your entire collection, which one would it be? How can I answer that question? While in Serbia, this is probably the bag that I have worn the most, but these are the other bags that I brought with me. So if you asked me in the past, I'd probably say this one. But in the past, I never have this one. And still, I don't think it's any of these, but my new Birkin Rock, just because it's the newest bag in my collection and I really love it and I can't wait to wear it more. So it actually would go really well with this outfit, the Birkin Rock as well. I just didn't pack it because I thought like, okay, I'm in Serbia for 4 or 5 days filming. I don't need so many bags. I literally picked so many questions and I realized I probably don't have that much time, so I have to get going. What's it like dating a mixed culture or specifically an Italian? I honestly, with this one, someone else asked me this question earlier this year. And I have to say that Filippo is not like a typical Italian, I would say, mainly because he lived in 13 different countries. So he's very accepting of other cultures, but then equally so, if I was not very flexible as well and like very comfortable with his culture, him very comfortable with my culture, probably wouldn't be like this. So I would say Filippo loves anything to do with Balkan and Serbia, and he loves our mentality, right? Until I get very stubborn. But he loves our mentality, so it really works. I love his mentality. He is, honestly, I don't think like you can say like, okay, Italian men are better than like Serbian men. Not at all. Like you cannot generalize people. You cannot like, you know, say anything like that. But I have to say that my experience with Filippo is the only Italian man that I've had experience with, is such that he is kind and loving, and he really gives me the princess treatment, which means that he listens to me when I have a problem, and when I'm upset, he really knows how to soothe me. And it's not the experience that I had in the past when dating within my own culture. He's very present in the moment when we're together, and I don't know, that's something that's very, very, very important to me. Very loyal, very like trusting and trustworthy. So I don't know what to tell you, what it's like dating with mixed culture, but with him particularly, it just works because our personalities are just good for each other. How did you know Filippo was the one? I think like you should watch the video on how we met. I don't know how I knew, but I knew. And it's the best decision. He didn't know right away. And I'm not at all embarrassed to say that. Like in our relationship, he's definitely a golden retriever and I'm a black cat for sure. But I just knew that our personalities are a perfect match. I can't even tell you. I'm a religious person, but I cannot help think that I've known Filippo from the previous life. That's all I can say. Do you work as a private shopper for certain clients? I have never, ever, ever worked as a personal shopper, never had one client for that, but I can understand why some people might think that. And also wanted to say that, guys, imagine me as a personal shopper. I would just go, and when I need to buy something for a client, I would just buy it for myself. I literally could never do that job. It would be so bad for me. Why don't you ever come to summer holidays in Croatia? I actually spent whole of my childhood summer holidaying in Croatia, specifically in Dubrovnik. We had a family house there as well. So we had like connections to that part of the world for some way, somehow. I went ever since, I think once or twice.
Look how stunning is this.
But we've been planning it. We definitely have been planning it. Is a Birkin and the Socht a better investment than a Kelly Colormatic? Guys, I'm gonna say something very controversial. Are you ready? I do not like Kelly Colormatic at all. It's the one with the pocket. And it's funny because I love the rock so much. I just don't like Kelly Colormatic at all because it's just my personal opinion. Of course, if you have it, if you love it, I'm happy for you. But I don't like it because I think it's like to me it looks like a little bit of a child bag, you know, or something like that. So not my style, I would say. Any new brand discoveries? Yep, we've seen you in Kate, The Row, Miu Miu, Magda. Well, let me answer this one and then we'll make a little break. I actually write often blog posts about all the new designers that I discover. Go and check out the blog and you search in like new brands. It will come out with blog posts about like new brands, but I also try and do videos about that. I've recently done a video about that, I believe. I hope you guys are gonna enjoy that. The French President Emmanuel Macron is at the same hotel right now as I am. So the filming crew cannot come because of the security protocols. So basically, we have to wait. So we're like just gonna postpone it by like 10-15 minutes, in which I'm gonna do a few more questions. But I just thought that this is not really going well for me, that Macron and I are currently both in Serbia in the same hotel.
I was in a relationship with President of France.
I'm just giving the people who love good gossip more. If you followed along, once you guys asked me what was the craziest rumor that I've ever heard about me. So
Like the gossip that I hear about me sometimes, you guys, is so much more interesting than my real life.
lol, mega lol. Someone's asked me, do you invest your money to prepare your future or a project? I know it will not be difficult for you guys to believe, but actually I know nothing about finance. I'm not like, I know a lot of things about a lot of things, but I'm not a finance girly, okay? So I do have financial advisors who I have frequent calls with, so we can kind of manage my money in a way, so that I can have a more, it's one less thing for me to think about. You know what I mean? I always believe that you should let people whose expertise that is do their expertise, you know what I mean, and not get involved too much. Is it worth having a blog today? Now, it is worth if that's something that you enjoy doing, but I would not think about financial gains when just opening one, because from starting a blog to actually having any financial value, it could take years. So if it's not something you really, really, really enjoy doing, it's not worth it, I believe. But I love writing my blog. We do not really monetize it. I just really enjoy it. It's how I started. I'm very enthusiastic about doing this job, about writing a blog, about kind of making sure it looks beautiful. Guys, the first blog I had was half a life ago. And I feel like I just love that. I've always been a girl that loves like that kind of diary writing or sharing things. So for me, having a blog is very much worth it. I wasn't going to answer the next question, but I've received it so many times that I felt like if I don't, it's just going to keep repeating and repeating and repeating. And I know I'm no stranger. I've been doing this for long enough to know that you guys love asking controversial questions. And I'm going to answer to this one, but I'm going to blur the name of the influencer because I'm just going to answer it generally. How do you feel about another influencer, copying your engagement ring? I think like I was actually really surprised how many comments I got about this. It must mean that this is like something quite like important or not usually done, or also like, I guess like an obvious thing to many of you. Personally, for me, I didn't even think of that, in all honesty. I love my engagement ring so much. I just love that Filippo got it right, that he made the most beautiful ring. I love the story. It's been a year since we got engaged, okay? And it's still, to this date, the most beautiful day in my life. And I'm not that girly, okay? I'm not that girly that's like always dreamt of a proposal, but it's just been, it was so personal, it was so beautiful. And for me, my engagement ring is something that hasn't got anything to do with like someone else having the same one or someone else not having the same one. I personally am living the most beautiful time in my life, knowing and remembering that feeling and knowing and still living that feeling for over a year now. Whether someone has each to their own, I don't think that personally for myself I could have had a better proposal because it included like everything that's important to me, like my family. Wow, it was so emotional. Like I could actually start crying now thinking about the proposal. Actually, every time that I think about it, I could start crying. So to come back to the question, I couldn't care less who has the same piece of jewelry. What I'll tell you is that this ring means so much to me. What I'll tell you is that it's kind of like someone else can buy like a same ring, have exactly the same proposal, but what matters is the feeling. What matters is the true love for me. Like I never even showed the full proposal of Filippo and me on our social media, not on this YouTube channel, not on my Instagram. The actual reel, we showed like us with the ring, we announced that we got engaged, but the actual full proposal footage has never been shown because it's something extremely valuable to me. It was so special. I have to say, this is like my favorite topic. I have to say that, does it bother you that another chef has the same recipe to your cake? It doesn't bother me because cake would never taste the same. The love that Filippo and I have for each other is a testimony to that. So yeah, I'm happy that I answered to that question because it was just like so frequent. When did you buy the Alaya mesh flats? I want to see the unboxing. Funnily enough, I am wearing them right now. When did I buy them? I guess you missed the unboxing. So I finally got my first pair of these Alaya mesh sandals. It was on this YouTube channel. So yeah, while I was in Paris last time. What are your goals for 2025? Let me tell you one thing. I never speak about my next move or about my goals. Never. I think it's a very, very, very personal question, not even to the people around me. Even though people ask me that question a lot, I don't know why. I recently met a guy in a club. Okay, I don't go also to clubs a lot, but I met a guy and he was like, can you guys tell me what are your dreams? And I was like, that's a very personal question. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm just weird. But I wanted to answer this question to tell you the same. Do not share your dreams and goals too much openly. Write them down on a piece of paper and save something for you. Obviously with your family and friends, sure, but you know what I mean? Not with everyone. You always give off a peaceful Zen aura. How do you do it? It's admirable. Lots of love. Thank you so much. I definitely am not always peaceful and Zen, but I have learned over the time certain breathing exercises that do help calm down my sympathetic nervous system so that I can be more Zen. And in general, being calm and having the same like intonation is quite important to me because then I feel like I'm in control. I have an incredible therapist and I work a lot on myself. So I think that's what really, really helps me. I really like next question because it made me think a little bit. How do you guys decide whose friends you go on holiday with, Filippo's or yours? Actually, to tell you the truth, I think you guys probably know this by now, we don't really have many friends. We have a very, very small circle, both Filippo and I, very small. I have like 3 friends, right? And we love to stay by ourselves the most, but we also love to spend time with our friends. So it's very easy to decide. Most of the friends that are his friends are also my friends, and my friends are also his friends. So whether we spend holidays with my friends or his friends, it's our friends. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. And somehow, if I don't like someone, he's on the same page, and if he doesn't like someone, I'm on the same page. So it's very easy to actually not spend time with people that we, you know what I mean? It's easy to make up our mind. Just as that. Why are you not showing your family, your dad, mom, siblings? Just to protect their beautiful private lives. They wouldn't mind it, I'm sure, but yeah, it is hard. I would like to show them, but I love them too much, I guess. I don't know what it is. It's just, you know. What is the most rewarding thing about your career? Very quick answer. The fact that my parents now really respect me more. Obviously, they've always loved me a lot, but now I know they really respect me for what I have created and what I have achieved, that I can also give really nice things to them. It's nice being able to have the respect of people you always admire the most. I love this question. New money people and old money people have anything in common? Yes, they have something in common. They both have money. Doesn't matter whether it's old or new. It's quite an interesting topic for people online. For me, not as much. I think it's just, you know, I think a lot of it is just a myth or a cliche. So that being said, I think I'm going to finish this video here, head downstairs because the crew is probably going to be waiting for me and start shooting. It's going to be a very long day today. So wish me good luck, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.